So you've heard about this huge cyber attack with ransomware locking up computers in 150 countries, demanding ransom or else your data is going to be toast. Computer networks in 150 countries were affected. More than 200,000 people were affected by this. But what does it truly mean? What can we truly learn from this? And what can we tell about what's going to happen in the future? Well, first of all, we have to understand that the biggest companies like Microsoft, they're still making errors. They're still making mistakes, even though they have so much money and so many people working on their code. There's still going to be a problem here, a problem there, and if somebody finds that problem, that's called an exploit. And with that exploit, you can attack masses of computers, shutting down traffic, shutting down hospitals, like in Great Britain the other day. So a couple of days ago, there was another exploit being publicized, being patched. Somebody found this, and this was way bigger than what we've seen used in this massive hacker attack. You see, what was used in this hacker attack was just an older exploit that was already patched, but a lot of people, especially in government, they didn't patch their systems. They were using older versions of Windows, so they were not protected, and a lot of people just open up any kind of stupid email attachment. So naturally, even with an older exploit, you can attack a lot of people. But recently there was a new exploit discovered, and this one was even worse. It was wormable. This could be triggered remotely. This could be used against standard, current, patched Windows installations. The worst thing you could possibly imagine. So, luckily this was fixed, so if you have done your updates on your Windows machines, then you can't be attacked through this recent exploit. But understand, even the biggest companies such as Microsoft, still they make mistakes, because these are humans coding this stuff, and even they have revisions and more testing and more testing. There's still going to be ways to attack our very infrastructure. So at some point, artificial intelligence will know how to code, and of course that's when coding will be much safer, because these artificial intelligent beings, entities, they will not make mistakes coding. But of course, that means attackers, bad actors, will have access to artificial intelligence as well. And what happens if you pit one artificial intelligence against the other? Telling your artificial intelligence to hack the other, and the other one is told to defend against hacks. So that's kind of a interesting scenario in the future, to say the least. And the next thing we can learn about computer safety and antivirus software. Antivirus programs are questionable. There's a hot debate with the professional community. So one side argues you should have antivirus software and firewall software because it protects you, and the critics say, well, it just adds more code to your system, so more code means more mistakes, meaning more exploits and more ways to attack you. Both sides have valuable arguments, and you out there need to decide what to do if you're going to go with simply a current Windows system and the current onboard antivirus tools and onboard firewall, or if you're going to use a commercial product like Symantec, Norton, or McAfee, or Kaspersky, which is now being looked at by the U.S. government, the U.S. intelligence community. I mean, I've been warning about Kaspersky for years, and Bloomberg has reported on it, and just a lot of people have reported on it, quoting that weird Russian-connected oligarchs are socializing with, important people from that company, And the guy who founded the company, Yevgeny Kaspersky, he was trained at a KGB facility in the past, and he's very secretive. You know, you got to be careful what you're using. And you need to follow these cases and these investigations and where they lead. So antivirus software is not as simple as just installing something and running it. You gotta get smarter. So maybe you want to opt for a hardware firewall. Maybe build one yourself. You know, one that does deep packet inspection and that sort of stuff. And just be smart. You know, just educate yourself. Don't believe anything that comes out of the computer scene. You know, the IT sphere. Because there's good stuff from there, there's bad stuff from there, and there's criminals there, and there's honest people there, so just be smart. Then, the used exploit with this huge attack, this exploit was old. So if you had done your updates, and if you didn't, you know, open up any stupid email attachment, you couldn't be attacked. And lots of government computers or company computers were too old, not patched, and they were using obsolete operating systems like Windows XP, and that's something you need to address. If no matter what country you're in, your hospital system, your government system, your infrastructure, ask them what software are you using, what operating systems are you using, is it patched, is it current? Just be smart and take preventive measures, protect yourself, protect your loved ones. And also maybe take some legal action or just take whatever action seems necessary to mitigate this threat and to mitigate consequences. So, right, if a company or government agency acts really stupid, don't patch their systems, even though this exploit has been known for a while, then you might need to take the appropriate action here. Next, emails are outdated, or the normal email is an outdated form of communication. It's still one of the main attack vectors. Yeah, it's just stupid, you know, sending emails around with clickable links and with attachments. And man, you need to be so suspicious of any email that comes in. You know, it might be a fake, it might be phony. It's always better to just get into your browser, log into your account, you know, whatever the account may be, electrical power, phone systems or whatever, and then check if there's an actual new invoice or an actual message or something, you know, or an actual security warning, you need to change your password or whatever. Just don't freaking click on any stupid link in your email or you open up any attachment, even though this email might appear genuine. Just don't do it. Just be smart. There's ways you can protect yourself, you know, just antivirus stuff and using larger email services that have additional protection, and use encrypted, signed mailings, and then that sort of thing. So there's a way you can protect yourself. Next, the NSA does collect exploits, but it probably has much better ways of attacking than is currently known. So we don't really know how much, you know, there's collaboration between the NSA and Microsoft and IBM, but come on, guys, get real. I don't think the NSA truly, at its core, of course, they have different layers and they have different stuff they give to other government agencies. I mean, I think the probability is pretty high. The NSA doesn't need common exploits to break into someplace. So if you do patching and updates, that might protect you against certain gangsters, but it doesn't protect you from the NSA. The whole internet is a product of the American military-industrial complex, and you should always remember that, and you need to be careful. There's a lot of free programs out there that promise you the world, you know, you're going to be safe in your communications, and this free software will encrypt everything you do, but please be so careful, man. There's so many ways to attack a system. Any component on your main board, anything that can be used against you, deeply hidden stuff in the code. You don't know all the stuff that the NSA has and what's out there, so yeah, if you use these questionable products, to encrypt your communications or whatever, be aware it's probably not really safe. It will protect you from regular agencies, government agencies, and protect you from certain normal gangsters, but it won't protect you from the NSA, most likely. And there's tools out there, used by people for privacy reasons, used by criminals. And some of these tools are openly financed by the US government, or the people who make them have never been publicly known. So you don't even know who makes your software, and how can they finance that, and how can they always have a new version out? You just have to be very, very suspicious. Of course, you get a lot of tech people protesting, no, you need to use all this stuff and trust all this stuff, and you shouldn't talk bad about encryption and bad about these privacy tools. I'm not trying to bash privacy tools per se. I'm just saying be very smart and don't just trust anything that's out there. Now, the virus or the exploit being used, this attack had a off switch, and somebody, a young security researcher, actually found that off switch almost by accident. So he just registered some weird domain for a couple of dollars, and that's how he could stop this. And of course, it was bad as it was. I mean, it was already really bad, and it's probably going to get worse by tomorrow, by Monday, because a lot of people come back to work and find, or whatever, and they find that their system is locked by this virus. But even so, this could have been much, 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 much worse. And maybe this was a false flag or some kind of inside job done by someone in order to create a pretext to censor the web and to control the web more. I mean, the NSA is probably consciously, intentionally risking that certain exploits are being stolen and published and leaked and stolen by the Russians or the Chinese or whatever. So these exploits will be used by someone against us people in the West. So who benefits from this? I think 80%, the number that was tossed around, 80% of the affected computers were Russian computers. So this could have been a false flag or an inside job. We can't rule that out. Somebody wants to scare the people out there and say, we need these tight new restrictions. We need to go from a blacklisting philosophy to a whitelisting philosophy. So until now, anybody can do whatever he wants as long as it's not illegal. And when it's illegal, that person might get flagged, might get investigated. So everything that is not explicitly forbidden is legal, but they might go to a whitelisting model where everything is forbidden unless it's explicitly allowed, and it's been vetted and verified. So if you're not a verified, trusted user, you can't use the internet, you can do nothing on the internet, you can't rent a server, your connections will not go through, your packets will not be delivered on the internet, all that stuff. So this attack supposedly was done by greedy criminals who just want to steal some money. They were using an older exploit, and people can learn on YouTube how to download these parts and pieces, these digital parts and pieces, put them together, and then launch it. But what happens if there's a more vicious attack in the future done by a government or a private, powerful group? What if they have better exploits? What if they have better weapons? That would mean our infrastructure is in acute danger. The infrastructure might not be functioning for a while, or it could be unreliable for a long time. So medical sphere, food, water. So that could cripple our society, and of course you need to be a prepper to counter that threat. And what if a cyber attack like this would be combined with a biological attack? That would create some serious damage. So studies have shown that civilian populations are just as much in danger during wartime as are soldiers. And modern civil protection concepts, they value civil protection just as important as military, as the military. So you need to be a prepper, you need to be smart, And be very careful with stuff that's out there. You know, if you think that there's some new thing on the internet, I can just download it and it's gonna, you know, enable me to do safe communications. Just be very sharp and very distrustful, and, you know, you want to see proof, and you want to hedge your risks, and you want to, you know, be really clever about this. You know, this is something you need to be aware of, and don't think the Russians wouldn't do this. Don't think the Chinese wouldn't do this. Don't think this is just Western mainstream propaganda. This is, every country is gearing towards cyber war, and it's sooner or later this stuff will be used. Maybe as a false flag, maybe as an inside job, and you need to be aware, especially in the US, when Trump has picked the foxes to guard the hen house, so to speak. Be very aware, and don't fall for government traps. Don't fall for government traps, and don't trust some sleazebag media out there who are supporting Trump still and will support him probably when there's a false flag. This is what I would recommend to you, to be very careful about that. So if you like this video, please comment, share, subscribe, like, and visit our website, eng.recenter.com.